Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
Hi, I'm DK Will, and this is DK Will Talk About It. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the dinar. But before I talk about the dinar, I'm going to have to repeat myself and address something that needs addressed, because despite the fact that when I do videos about the dinar, it seems to get the biggest response in viewership, it also gets, quite honestly, the only response and the highest response in ass holiness. Okay, I'm sorry. The dinar brings out ugly in people. So let me address it real quick. First off and foremost, I'm not a guru. I'm just a regular guy who takes in information and then shares it with everyone else. I do give my opinion, otherwise, why am I here? Why am I here? Well, my channel tells you why I'm here. Because see, DK will talk about it. So that's what I do, okay? I don't know Charlie Ward, never met him. I don't know TNT Tony. I don't know Mark Z, although I think Mark Z seems to take a level approach to things. I've heard about TNT's criminal history, and I have heard that Charlie Ward apparently gets people to send their money thinking that they're going to get some kind of special group or special treatment and uh, get ahead of the line. I don't know Bruce. I don't know Pimpy. I don't know this Ed that I'm going to read right here. I don't know Frank, although I was glad to hear Frank got better. At one point, the news was first around that he was sick and getting surgery or whatever, and he got better. I feel that way about any human being. You were sick and got better. I'm glad to hear that. But do I know Frank? I don't know Frank. I don't know a single guru, not one. And that includes me, because I'm not one. Okay, so either way, it's not one. So when I share this information, I'm sharing this information with adults. This is not a child channel. This is an adult channel. I'm sharing information with adults. You can see what I share because I put it right on the screen. Now, will I give my opinions and thoughts on it? Oh, absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Because see, this is DK. We'll talk about it. Now, I'm going to talk about it. However, am I verifying and confirming that everything that I read here is true? Okay, let's give it some thought. It says there news, rumors, and opinions. News, rumors and opinions. Rumors and opinions. It says rumors and opinions. Okay, so at that point, as adults, we all just, mull over the information and decide what we want to believe, what we can verify, what we can't. I will share what I believe when it comes to verification, or what I've done to verify, because I do that. I do verify some information. I look behind the curtain to find out if this is true or that is true. I look at the evidence to see if I believe this or that. Cinnamon, leave the cat alone. Sorry, the dog's just bothering the cat. Excuse me. I'll be back. Okay, I had to pause to let the dog out. He was in here. She was in here fighting the cat. Too much. Too noisy. Okay. So I forgot what I was saying. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just start reading, and I'm sure whatever's heavy on my heart is gonna come out. You see, because out of the heart's abundance, the mouth speaks. And I have some stuff heavy on my heart, and it's gonna come out, at least as it relates to this channel. But on Dinar recaps, we can see here remarks from Ed of Ocala. I don't know Ed from Ocala. Ed, this coming week we should get our notifications. 214 countries to the quantum financial system. Is there evidence of a quantum financial system? Absolutely yes. I've said many times, and I'm going to say it again. This is bigger than Iraq. This is bigger than Iraq. If your focus is on Iraq and what Iraq can do and what it means to their economy and all this stuff, you are not getting the big picture. This is bigger than Iraq, and as I continue to read, you'll see that. Because now what's spilling over from one venue that I'm involved in is spilling into the other venue that I'm involved in, that being cryptocurrency, blockchain, and things of that nature, digital money. Now it's spilling over into this realm. That alone should tell everyone it's bigger than Iraq. Because you can't send an email to somebody who doesn't have email. Okay? So if money's going to go digital, you can't send money digital to somebody who hasn't also gone digital. So that means everybody would have to go digital, right? Just using that as an example, because our money's already digital. But blockchain is a whole nother story. All right, some unusual things. Some have been receiving notifications from the banks regarding new procedures. Absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And I'm sure there's some of you viewing this that know that. At the closing of trade yesterday, fiat and other currencies stopped being traded. I have no idea of knowing that's true. F&P moving closer. We are at the verge of this. I believe we are there. Ed believes we are there. Many have believed we are there and have done so for many years, but we shall see. All credit cards and terms will not function under the QFS system. I believe there's some validity to at least the banking system changes because I'm aware of them personally. These debts must be zeroed out. I've read information that says and suggests that that's happening. Unconfirmed. IRS is dead as we know it. Corporate taxes. This is a tax-free event. It is a private treaty. Excuse me. That was signed back in 2015 by 209 countries and is not part of public records. There will be a CPA or government official at all RC centers who will tell you and put in writing that this is a tax-free event. I don't know Ed. I can't verify what he said, but hey, peeps, that's what's out there. If you like what I do here, don't forget to push that little thumbs up thing on the bottom there because that helps YouTube keep me going with their algorithms and showing my videos as part of your choices and the rest of the world's. And if you really like what I do here, subscribe because this is DK. We'll talk about it, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Moving on, we got some RV excerpts from the Restore Republic via a GCR, Global Currency Reset. Update as of today, Sunday, March 2022. On Saturday, 12 March, banks worldwide were switched allegedly from the old cabal-owned SWIFT global financial system to the new quantum financial system. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know there's banking system changes occurring, and even Coinbase and others have done their maintenance recently. Delta Force seized the emergency broadcast system from corrupt CIA at their Virginia complex, and there's a link. I didn't click on the link, but you'll be welcome to click on the link because this link will be in the description. Wednesday, 16 March, the U.S. petrodollar was no more. In parentheses, rumor. Okay, to me, that's not a rumor because the day that oil went negative per barrel because it was sitting out on the docks, that was the petrodollar went negative. And so to me, that was the day that the petrodollar died. So no more is another story. Died is another story. So I don't know on that one, but I do know the petrodollar is on its way out the door. Okay. 18 March, 6 p.m., the fiat US dollar would no longer be used in international trade. Now, let me address that. Let me see what it says next. I'm going to come back to that rumor and make it make some sense. It appears to me that the U.S. petro and fiat dollar are no longer valid as of Friday, 18 March, that they would have to immediately switch to the new gold asset-backed U.S. note. I will touch that and tie it into the previous comment that I will touch later. Redemption Center folks will be working on Monday. I have no way of knowing that. Nobody sent me an invitation. Reno says it's going to be early this week. I don't know if that's true. Tier 4B, us, the internet group, we are that. Notification to set Zim bond redemption and foreign currency exchange appointments will likely be Monday, Tuesday, 21 and 22. That's tomorrow, folks, and the next day, according to Bruce. I don't know Bruce. I said what I think of some of the things he said. Sometimes he spoke not knowing what he was talking about, but he was accurate. When he was talking about bank ledgers and on-demand ledgers and things of that nature, yeah, he was accurate, but he didn't even know what he was talking about. And he said he didn't know what he's talking about. So whoever was giving him information was giving him some good information along with the bad information. Just like I am right here giving you all the information that I have in front of me. Now you do what you want with it. And I'm going to stop here for a minute because I think I started this talking about some jerk that wouldn't get off my back when I kept trying to calm him down and keep him a live character. I eventually just blanked him out because he turned on me and started to tell me that I somehow was up to some nefarious deal. I mean, I have no nefarious deal. There's no benefit of me doing this here other than the sense of feeling like I'm helping people. That's it. That's I don't get paid to do this. I do this because it's, people I know told me I should, and I did it. I listened. I thought about it because, quite honestly, I'm not seeking fame and fortune. Like I replied to an answer to somebody's question when somebody's comment about chanting my name. I don't chant my name. I'm just another guy, dudes. Okay, so, but do I have something to share that could benefit? I hope so. And that's why I do this. And if you don't like it, move on. But here's what we're not going to do here. We're not going to slam Charlie Ward. We're not going to slam Bruce, Holly, Mark, Z, Fleming, as I see them coming up. We're not going to slam TNT, Tony. We're not going to slam Ray Ray. We're not going to slam Frank. We're not going to slam anybody. And quite honestly, anybody who slams somebody else like that is a coward in my eyes. Because if you got a beef with somebody, go put your beef up with them. Mano y mano, or mano y wo mano, or wo mano to wo mano, or whatever you want to call it, person to person. And if you do it any other way, you're just a little crybaby coward. Okay? That's how I feel about it. Did I go off on a tangent? Let's get it back together. We have 10 days to set out appointments and 30 days to exchange. Redemption Center people are trained to redeem and exchange the currencies we have with contract rates that were agreed to in a contract. Banks will have street rates. This is repeated information that we've heard is becoming more and more probably true. Now here we go. 100 nations have global agreements now being deployed called Project Sandman to drop an end dominance of the US dollar and petrodollar. Tie-in. See down there where it says Fleming? Russia and China have declared they are gold-backed, asset-backed with solid verifiable assets as required by the International Monetary Fund. All countries would follow, beginning with the U.S. From the very beginning, we were told this was moved from east to west. There's no country further east than Russia. And Russia declared that they were gold-backed before China declared they were gold-backed. But guess who comes after Russia when you keep heading east? Then there's China. So as you're heading from east to west, you headed from Russia to China. Guess who's coming up next? India, if they haven't already. Because that's still east to west. And then you're going to have South Africa, and then you're going to have Brazil. Because, see, those are the BRICS nations I talked about in a prior video. So they're giving you a bunch of narratives about the Ukraine and Russia and all this stuff as reasons for this. But one thing is certain. What you look at is the facts, and the facts are countries are going gold back. The facts are blockchain technology is taking over SWIFT. They're telling you that Russia's coming off of SWIFT because of this war and sanctions and all that other narrative BS. What matters is, if you get your head out of the narrative, is, yeah, they are coming off of SWIFT, no matter what the narrative says. And so, as I've said many times, before you bring in the new, you got to get rid of the old. Guess what the old is? SWIFT. Guess what the new is? On-demand liquidity. On-demand liquidity. Releasing all that nostro vostro accounts through blockchain technology with actual value. Transfer of value. Transfer of fiat is not value. Gold back, asset back is a transfer of value. So Project Sandman describes a 100 plus nation agreement. When triggered, we'll see those nations simultaneously dump the dollar and abandon the petrodollar status that has allowed the U.S. to enjoy 50 years of fiat currency counterfeiting and material abundance at the expense of everyone else. When this decision is triggered, the dollar and all dollar denominated assets will plunge to near zero, literally, overnight. And then there's a link. Excuse me, if you want to use it, go right ahead. This will be in the description. And so that's consistent with the fact that all cryptocurrencies will go to zero, the overwhelming majority of them. Because if the overwhelming majority of them are just speculative coins like the fiat money that we are living off of now, as opposed to the gold and asset-backed money, and if they offer no tangible value to the new monetary system that will be based on blockchain technology, in other words, they don't do anything. They don't help you with smart contracts. They don't help you with transfer of funds. They don't do anything. They're very likely going to do exactly what it says here, since they're denominated in dollars. They're going to plunge to zero overnight. Because, see, Russia and China, when you start getting into economies, you're talking about number 2 and probably like number 5 or 6, have gone gold back. When it comes to power, you're talking about probably number 2 and number 3, if not 2 and 4. And they went gold back. And I've said many times, you can't trade your maple leaves for gold leaves. And since the United States, they say beginning with the United States here, I say ending with the United States, because the United States is the hoss with the big economy. And so why in the world would the U.S. turn their money into gold when they have nobody to play with? So they create these narratives in these scenarios for the sleeping public to accept what they say as the reasons for coming off of SWIFT and the reasons for going to gold back and the reasons for the Ukraine going to cryptocurrencies. They give you all these narratives, but the truth is that's where everything's heading, and the narratives are to keep you at bay until they're ready to pull the switch. And the U.S., they have this SEC lawsuit with Ripple because that's to keep an excuse for the U.S. waiting for everybody to get ready. Because when everyone gets ready, and now they got gold asset back, the U.S. has all the gold. So how can they be hurt by that? The U.S. has over 8,000 tons of gold. And the last time I did research on it, they had almost as much as the next three in line combined. So going gold back's not going to hurt the U.S. They're just going to wait for everybody to get ready to play. And when everybody's ready to play, the U.S. goes gold back too. And guess what else the U.S. does? They removed that farce of a lawsuit with the SEC and Ripple. And guess who owns the on-demand XRP ledger? Ripple, a U.S. company. It's all been by design, folks, and it's coming. So, this is bigger than the dinar. So while the little babies are bitching about Charlie Ward because they were the fools who gave their money to him, I'm going to add here. Currency, paper currency, is a bearer instrument. That means if you have it in your hand, that's 99.9% of the law, unless you stole it. Okay, so if it's in your hand, it's yours. So if somebody is telling you, give me your dinar so that I can make you special, then your ego got to you. And your common sense fell down to your ego or your impatience or your greed. Wait your turn. It will come. And I'm going to finish on wait your turn with this. Mark Z is talking about bonds here. Holly and Mark all agree. Mark Z says, I have lost over half of my bond folks. They're gone. Like they have fallen off the face of the earth. No communication at all. It could be an NDA. Can you think of a better reason other than death, folks? They expect all bonds, all capitalized, to be paid by next Thursday. They need a certain percentage of bonds completed before we go. Now, we've heard all this before, okay? But I want to address no communication at all, like they've fallen off the face of the earth. Could they be under an NDA? Very likely the answer is yes. So here's what I want to say to the rest of us. If somebody is under an NDA, it is absolutely, positively none of your business unless they tell you voluntarily. If someone is under an NDA and you pressure them or you play their emotions or you manipulate them to disclose to you that they are under an NDA and the terms of their NDA says that they can't tell you they're under an NDA, you have become worse than every criminal guru out there you accuse because you've jeopardized this person's fortune, this person's life-changing event because you're greedy and impatient and you don't respect them really as a friend because if you were really their friend, you would allow them to tell you if they wanted to tell you. You wouldn't pressure them to let you know. Pressuring them to let you know is your own selfish greed. So I'm saying this. If a person is under NDA, it's none of your business. If a person is saying they're under an NDA, they're either lying or they're permitted to say it. So if they're lying, then you have to wonder what their agenda is. And if they're permitted to say it, don't press for more. Because by their saying it, they're saying, I'm under a non-disclosure agreement. I have agreed that I won't tell you any more than that. Why would you ask them to do more than that then? Okay, I'm DK Will. Get grounded, people. Get grounded. Learn human decency and respect. And if I read some ugly comments in the comments of this video about Dinar, because it seems to bring out the ugly in people, I'm not even going to entertain your ugly comments. I'm just going to evaporate them. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. If you got something positive to say it. You got something genuinely helpful to say, please do say it. If you're trying to alert people to something because you really want to help people, but you don't want to defame somebody, you want to help people then. But if I detect, and I have a detector, it's called my spider senses. If I detect another jerk making comments, I'm just going to get rid of your comments. And if they become too harassing and they attack me, I'm going to report you. So please don't do that to me anymore. I don't get paid for these videos. I do it because I want to help. I do it because sometimes it's fun. I do it because I think I have something to offer, and a lot of people who knew me thought so too and asked me to do it. I don't want you chanting my name. Anybody. Okay? Just respect what I do. Appreciate it if it helps you. And I'm a happy camper. And I'm DK Will. This is DK Will Talk About It. And I've talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.